Good morning, guys. It is Monday, March 30th, and today for math, our math is going to look a little bit different. We're not going on to 12.1 today. We are going to do some beginning topic stuff with 12.1. So, our new topic is measuring lengths, and you have 3 assignments due today. They are vocabulary cards for our new topic. So these are the purple ones that you're going to print out or cut if you can. If not, just make your own vocabulary cards. Reviewing what we've learned in previous units. And then there's a Topic 12 animated story. It's just kind of going to introduce you to this topic. So the first thing I'm going to go over is the vocabulary cards. Now, I've already cut mine out, which I did use them out of the book. So if you need to make your own cards, you can't print them out, that's fine. I'm just going to go over their meanings. So this first word is shortest. Now they've got shortest, and they've pointed to this little red worm at the bottom. So another word for shortest would be the smallest. Do you see how this red worm is smaller than the blue and the yellow? So it's the shortest, it's the smallest one. So on the back of your card, and I'll kind of leave this turned, and if you need to write this down, the shortest object is the one that takes the fewest units to measure. Now, when you're talking about units to measure, you can measure using anything as long as you use the same thing. So if I have Cheerios and I wanted to measure something, I could measure it in Cheerios as long as I use Cheerios to measure everything, and the Cheerios were the same size. So shortest. The next one is length unit. A length unit is the shorter object that you use to measure a longer object. So I gave you an example just a second ago of using Cheerios to measure something. On this card, I don't know if you've seen that, they have just a Unifix cube. But I know a lot of you guys won't have these at home. So when it comes to that point, you could use anything you do have. Paper clips, string, something like that. But it's just shorter, and you use it to measure something that is longer. The next word is measure. And if you see measure, they have given you a marker and some cubes. They are using these 3 cubes to measure the length of this marker. Okay, so it says you measure an object using cubes or other tools to find the length. Okay, so in this example they used the cubes, but like I said, you could use anything as long as it's consistent. That means the same in size, and you use it repeatedly. Alright, we talked about shorter just a second ago. Remember the shortest. Sorry, we talked about shortest. It was the smallest, so the little red worm is the smallest. Now we're going to talk about longest. So the red worm is the smallest, it's the shortest. The longest is the largest. So the yellow worm at the top is the largest, or the longest. And I'm sorry that you can see the writing through. I wrote on the other side and it bled through. So it says the object that takes the most units to measure is the longest. So that's how we know that the yellow worm would take us more units to measure the yellow worm than it would the red worm. So this is the longest. Here's another word, length. Length is just the distance from one end of an object to the other. So this length, it starts measuring at the bottom of the baseball bat, and it goes all the way to the top of the baseball bat. So this line is the length of the baseball bat. And here's the definition on the back. Length is the distance from one end of an object to the other end. And it's very important that you know it goes from one end of the object to the other end. That means there is no room left for this to go. It goes from end to end. 2 more words. Longer. Okay, so they've got two pencils. They've got a blue pencil and a red pencil, and it's got a line drawn to the red pencil saying that it's longer. Another word that I like to think of for longer is larger. So the red pencil is longer than the blue pencil. The red pencil is larger than the blue pencil. Okay? And here's the little example on the back. An object that is 7 cubes long is longer than an object that is 2 cubes long. So here's that if you need to pause to write that down or fill in your card. And then if you look at that picture again, down here, using the cubes, if they measured, they have 7 cubes for the red pencil, but up here there's only 2 cubes. So that's what they mean. There's an object that is 7 cubes long. 7 cubes long is longer than an object that is 2 cubes long. And then shorter is the opposite. So the shorter is the smaller one. So an object that is 2 cubes long is shorter than an object that is 7 cubes long. Okay, so that was all of the vocabulary cards. If you can print these out, go for it. If you can't, get you a piece of paper and cut it into squares and write your word and draw your little picture and then write the definition on the back. The next thing you need to do is to review what you know. And I have already done this because my video messed up earlier, so I'm having to re-record. But I'll go over it with you. Number 1 says circle the number that is less than the number of cubes. So if you count those cubes, it gives you 5 cubes. 8 is larger than 5, and 5 is the number of cubes there are. So less than, you want the smaller number, so that would be 3. And number 2 is circle the number that is greater than the number of cubes. Well, if you count the cubes, there's 3 cubes right there. So 1 would be less than 3. 3 is the number you started with. 5 is the only number that is greater than. Number 3 says circle the symbol that is used to compare two numbers. So remember, when we do greater than, less than, we use that little symbol that looks like an alligator's mouth. So this is the one that you use. Greater than, in this case it's greater than, but we have greater than and we have less than. Now, number 4 at the bottom, choose 2 numbers to make the sentence true. So it gives you the words is less than. So it doesn't matter whatever numbers, you can put in whatever numbers you want as long as this number in the front is less than, so smaller. The number in the front is less than or smaller than the number in the back. Okay? And number 5 says Charlie has 9 stickers. Pearl has 5 stickers. Write the numbers and the symbol to compare the numbers of stickers. So I started with Charlie just because his number was first, and then I did Pearl's number, and then I know 9 is greater than 5. So the open part of my alligator mouth goes towards the bigger number. And number 6 is just write the missing numbers. So they give you 6, 7, 8. You have to fill in 9, 10, and then they give you 11, and then the last number you have to fill in is 12. Okay? So I have completed the vocabulary cards and the review what I know. All that you need to do now is go to the Topic 12 animated story. You'll find that on your assignments. It won't be in a little green lesson like 12.1 or 12.2. It'll be towards the bottom of your page, okay? If you have any problems, let me know.